Okay, we're in, boys. We're in. Alright, I can't actually read that, so. Wow, that color sucks. Yeah. Okay, here we go. How do I interface?
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
I want those. Score display. I don't really care about that actually. Scoreboard. Target frame. Alright, yeah, I don't want that. Okay, I think we're good with this. However, there's no UI scaling, so I can't make this. Okay.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Okay. Alright, we good. Link, Brooke is female, not a boy. But, okay. We're gonna be starting the highlight now, so. GG. And I wouldn't have corrected you at all, but I think it was said like 3 times. And I just didn't know if everyone thought Brooke was a man. So, anyway. So, no, I want a focus camera. Okay. Wow, amazing. Sweet. Okay, so let's see. Longsword 3 potions, pretty standard. Nothing wrong there. Who is she laning against? Are they just jungling together? Did Akali really leash? Oh my goodness, that's a big mistake. If you're mid lane, don't ever leash. That's just such a waste. Unless you're ranged and like you're gonna put your Q on a blue buff or something, but don't ever leash the Gromp or the Frog or whatever the hell it is. That's just a waste of time. See how like Akali's completely pushed back and out of experience now? There's absolutely no way she could like fight Zed. However, I do think that Zed should be fighting her because of the big advantage. He just let Akali get level 2 for free and Q and auto for free. Fight back! Don't be a wuss. What are you doing? No! Don't go back. Just oh no, maybe it was to maybe it was to like close the stream. That's fine. Anyway, I actually don't know what that W was. Don't ever waste your W like that on Zed. Like, you're either using it to go really hard because you know where the enemy jungler is, or you're using it to retreat from the gank. You don't just use it randomly to get creep score. That's what your Q is for. So right now, I mean, Zed winning in CS, but that should happen since Akali, like, you know, leashed forever. And I don't know what Akali is doing. This is ranked, by the way. This is a ranked game. Silver 4. I don't actually know what's going on. But okay, we're back in action. Quick, alright. Olaf's losing. Even though he has more HP, Olaf's losing. I don't actually know what happened down here. But I guess they lost. Okay, so back to Zed. Really at this point of the game, it's pretty early, and all you really want to do is farm up and push Akali under tower and just bully her. So yeah, just exactly that. You just do that all the time. Like, you throw the W in melee range, use your E, try and land both Qs, and there's no way she can fight back. Pre-6 anyway. That's really all there is to it at this stage of the game. It's just farming. You have 2 very snowbally assassins that don't really do much early on. But just lots of farming and boringness. But Zed's like dumping on Akali in CS, so that's good. good harass there. But the only problem with that is you don't know where the Aurelia is, because there's absolutely no wards anywhere in the world. So using your W is like okay to harass, but you really want to know, or at least have an idea where the enemy jungler is, so you don't just get ganked immediately afterwards and die, because you don't have a gap closer anymore. So honestly, you just gotta keep doing what you're doing, except that, I mean, Akali would probably be dead right here, but that was just a mechanical thing. It was a good idea. That was definitely a good all-in potential position, but when you W'd in, you missed your E and your Qs. But if you had hit both of those and your Ignite, then it would have been a kill for sure. Yeah, I mean, so far, just constantly pushing Akali under tower and harassing her is basically the right thing to do. No real incorrect play styles going on here. There hasn't really been a unique opportunity to freeze the wave, to deny her at all, that I've seen anyway. Okay, we're gonna back that up. No, let's back it up further. Okay, so we hit 6. What did we do when we hit 6? We're 6 now. What? Okay, half speed. You W and then R without using any abilities, which I guess is okay if you missed all 3 Qs. On every single shuriken. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. Well, that's the only explanation there. It was a good all-in. Like, you had the XP advantage. It was a good note of you to realize that you had the all-in potential because you had the XP advantage. And, you know, it was kind of dangerous because it was under tower. But, you know, the idea of doing that is good because a lot of lower elo players don't realize when they're stronger and when they should try to fight. So that was good of you to realize that you should go in, but just a mechanical error of, you know, missing the Qs. Going Brutalizer first. I'm pretty sure that's standard. I'm not sure. I haven't built Zed in a while. I'm fairly certain people still go Brutalizer first, and then probably Ghostblade. Or not Ghostblade, but Blade of the Ruined King. So. So now that Akali's 6, you really don't have any other difference in plan other than you have 2 options now. Now that you're 6, you can either continue to push her in and win trades because Akali has to get in melee range of you. So you should be letting her go to you rather than you Wing into her, because if not, you can just keep throwing your Qs at her all day because your Qs are longer range than her Q. So you technically are potentially capable of staying safe without having to W into her. Like right there, you know, you're Wing in all the time, and you never know where the jungler is, and that's exactly the point I'm talking about. I don't know why I just went down bottom, but like when you just W'd in there, it's the thing I was mentioning all game. Where, I mean, it's good in terms of harass and damage, but you never know where the jungler is without, you know, proper vision, and you have no idea if they'll just come at you right after you use it. And wrecked. So, that's... Just try to use W less in lane, and just try to use Q mostly, because Q is lots of damage, which you should be maxing, by the way. Let me, target frame. Alright, you are maxing Q, that's good. And you are going Vamp next, so far, like, everything seems to be okay. The only things that I could see being improved on is the amount of awards purchased, because right now you have about 250 gold when you were in base, and you bought 0 wards. So that's a problem. You need more wards. Always have at least 1 pink ward on the map at all times after, you know, you get a good item. So like after Brutalizer is when I would start buying a pink ward. Yeah, just more wards on your first back. Typically you don't want to keep your trinket ward and you want the red sweeper. But yeah, in this matchup against Akali, you're just going to want to either do one of two things. You're going to want to push her hard all the time and roam and let her not take your tower, because her wave clear is pretty bad. Honestly, it's pretty bad. But, well, yeah, that time you hit the Q. Perfect. It's brilliant. You went in, she wasn't 100% HP, and you hit the Qs, and GG's ZOP. But you either push her forever and roam and, you know, go kill top or bottom, or you you know, just keep poking her with Qs over and over, and then eventually all-inning her as you've been doing. So, but the only difference between what you're doing and what I suggested is that the thing I suggested had more wards involved. But that's about it. I mean, you're playing the matchup pretty much the way I would expect it to be played, just with you know, a lot more awkward W's being used. Alright, that was good. You couldn't really have done much else than that. Pretty much played the retreat perfectly. See, that's good. You use the W there, and that's honestly okay, because you aren't pushed up to her tower. She was pushing up to yours, so even if Aurelia was near mid, then you were still safe because your tower was right there, and you were able to use the W offensively. But when you're near their tower, it's really hard to use W on Zed offensively and not get punished for it if you don't know where their jungle is. And I know I've said that quite a few times, but it's pretty important in not just against Aurelia, but against all junglers. Using W so easily just makes it really easy to bait out. Like, Akali could be saying, hey, this Zed uses W all the time. If you walk mid, I can easily get this Zed to W onto me, and you can come in for a free kill. And that is a thing people will do in higher elo. Now, this is a good roam. You did, you know, exactly what I mentioned, where you pushed Akali into tower, roamed bot, you know, helped out. And since you are low, I guess recalling is okay. But typically afterwards, you'd want to run back mid. But yeah, I guess if you're that low, it's totally reasonable to recall rather than run back mid. But your bot lane's overstaying, and Akali is gonna go wreck. Oh boys, they have no mana. That's a shame. They overstayed really hard and just gave Akali 2 kills. Oh my goodness, that's actually horrible. Rip the matchup. All that hard work of mid lane. Akali is now just as strong as you. That's the worst feeling ever. And since their wave is pushing towards them, you have more minions pushing into them, plus a cannon minion. You have to go mid. But, okay, you spend too much time chasing. That's a lot of things. I hear a lot of people complain about their teammates doing that in lower elo games, where their teammates just always chase, try to go for kills, when you really should be pushing mid and getting this tower. That's a much higher priority than running through the unwarded jungle. That could have been a kill. If, oh boy. OP. Yeah, I mean, you got the kill, which is great, but mid tower is still alive, so that's bad. But I guess it looks like you'll be getting it soon, but that's beside the point. beside the point. It's not about what works out. I mean, I think about this all the time in my own games. It's like, is what I did, you know, actually correct? It's not whether or not it worked out, because dumb things can work out sometimes. And it's like, woohoo, I'm the best, and it looks great. But it's whether or not it's the correct thing to do. And waiting and letting a collie like bait you into their unwarded jungle, rather than just going mid and getting the tower for free, is a mistake. And then going on Aurelia there and Wing out just to flash back in and having, like, wasting your flash just like that is not worth. But I mean, it looks like you're really ahead. Kali is 30 plus CS down. She doesn't really have a completed item. She's fairly weak in terms of items. I don't know the rule as far as boots go on Zed. I don't know if completing tier 2 boots before completing Blade of the Ruined King is bad or not. I actually don't know. And I also don't even know if people run CDR boots. I actually watch a lot of Zeds, at least in my games. They run mobility boots for the roam, but that's probably a matchup specific thing. I'm sure cooldown reduction boots are perfectly viable and an acceptable option. I just never really pay attention to it. But I mean, everything seems to be going okay for the most part. I mean, it's really hard to say things that should be done better when it appears as though every lane is doing okay. But yeah, other than that, chasing a collie through the jungle, Wing away from Aurelia just to flash back in here was bad. Other than that, everything has just been mechanical, like NWing in all the time, no matter what is bad in lane phase. I don't really know what else to say about that, because most of the decision making from an outside perspective looks pretty normal. Like, none of it seems excruciatingly painful to watch, so that's good. No, stop it, camera. Oh boy, that rocket. Okay, well, Jinx just played that badly. I'm actually gonna rewind that because I want to see everything, not just this camera. Or yeah, this camera though. Oh my god, how bad am I? Why did you go bottom? Right here? Okay, we'll just watch in 2% or times 2 speed.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Okay, let's see what this does. Okay, well there you should wait to W. Like, I'm gonna back it up just a little bit. Can I use arrow keys? No, I can't. Okay, back 15 seconds. Sweet. Okay. You should never just W at the intended target before they use their ability to disengage you. So just run at them normally and wait to use W until after Jinx uses her chompers so you can dodge over them. Because now you're just stuck here and susceptible to all that damage she's putting out. And honestly, if she played it differently, she definitely could have beat you 1v1. That was definitely a winnable 1v1 by Jinx, 100%, but she fucked up. But yeah, I mean, for not having ult, that was fine, except for use W too early. You should wait until your opponent uses their either gap closer or crowd control ability to try and use your gap closer to determine whether it's still worth or not. Because if you waited until after Jinx used chompers, then you would have been able to kill her without having to really do much of anything other than right click. I don't know how many wards you bought this game, but I feel like it's not enough. So that's definitely something that should be consciously thought of throughout your game is, do I have a ward right now? Because I should. because you should. Alright, well, that looked fine. Well, now that you're this far ahead, honestly, you guys should just be grouping as 5 and running between mid and either bot tier 2 tower or top tier 2 tower, and just warding up and sweeping their jungle with the sweeping lens. You know, you should have like how long is it in the game? 20 minutes. You should have that 15 minutes ago. The sweeping lens is really important on mid laner. You should have it every game. And yeah, just running between their jungle, just rotating between their towers and objectives, allows you to get off really nice ults on isolated targets that are in transition. But I mean, the other option is just having your whole team go top, but Cho'Gath is with you for some reason. But yeah, the other option is the good old Zed split push, which I guess is a thing that works, but I don't know. I find it less reliable than being grouped, because if either party screws up, like if the group without Zed screws up, oh gosh, I think you ulted too late. You managed to live somehow, but I think you definitely ulted too late. You should have ulted immediately after the first Akali R, before she got any more damage on you, so you could kind of go on the offensive, use your Ignite and your Blade of the Rune King to counteract her aggression. Since she has no gap close out, only gap close in, she would have to like flash away. But yeah, but yeah, as I was saying about the split push, like if Zed screws up a 1v1 in the split push, or if the 4 members of your party, they screw up and you know, like get caught out, then you're stuck by yourself and you can't really create much pressure. If the enemy team sends like 4 of them to go do Baron and they have 1 staying in lane with you, not even necessarily to kill you, but just to keep you there or push you away, and then their team's getting free Baron. But if you're as 5, then you know it's always going to be a fair fight, and you know, you can ult isolated targets and rotations rather than just trying to brute force a split push.
Rampage.
That's like the 3rd ward you've placed all game, I think. Hey. But yeah, I don't know why Akali only has 76 CS, but you know, that's a thing. So yeah, some highlights, since I assume at this point they'll just surrender since Aurelia left. Some high points of the game that I'm gonna point out that you should take away is the warding. You still bought no wards. You have 350 gold left over. You could buy 3 green wards or even a pink or something. Just any wards at all game. I'm sure you went back to lane with stupid amounts of gold and you could have gotten wards out of that. So ward way more. Don't W in so frequently in lane phase because you can be punished for it by the jungler. You know, you chose to either all in your opponent after some poking or roaming, and honestly you did those 2 things just fine. However, after you roamed, instead of going back to lane, you just ran around in the river and in the enemy jungle, and there were absolutely no wards from your team, and in a real game that would have been punished really hard. So that's not good, to just run around aimlessly. You should always be going to either kill a big group of farm, or you should be going to kill a tower or dragon wards, whatever. Get the sweeping lens, because the sweeping lens is super important on your first back. Like, if you're 4 minutes into the game and you need it back for like a long sword and some potions or something, pick up the sweeping lens, because it's good for you know, killing the enemy wards that they should be placing, just like you, and also dragon control. And other than that, every other issue with the game was mostly just a mechanical error, and it wasn't really a decision-making error. Oh yeah, and that W away from Aurelia, just a flashback into her, that was weird. I don't know what that was about, but I mean, it worked. But yeah.